There's been a lot of talk about this recently, and people have been asking, should I go to university? So I thought I'd do my best to answer that question because I've been in university for 3 years now, almost done the third year. We're in the month of April, so once these exams are over, I'm going to be right into my fourth year after the summer holidays. So I have almost, I wouldn't say almost completed my undergrad, but I'm getting quite close. So I'm going to tell you what I think about university and not going to university, because I've also had experience on the entrepreneurial side, so I have an idea about how much you can make in a job and how much you can make without going to university and doing that conventional path. And I know how hard it is. I know the work it takes. I know the psychology behind it, meaning like I know how stressful each one of them can be because I've lived them both. So I want to give you some ideas and some tips about whether you should go to university or not. So you need to consider a few things. First of all, university is marketed to us. You're gonna think it's as simple as get excited for the program you wanna get into said program, be optimistic, and once that optimism lasts, you're gonna get a perfect job, have a perfect life, it's all gonna be easy and you're gonna be happy. Not that easy. Definitely not that easy, because you're going to think about your program, and once you get into it, you have to go into it for 4 years. And many of those programs you're going to go into, especially if your parents are telling you to become a doctor, become an engineer, or do something along those lines, gonna be hard. You're gonna have a lot of work, you're gonna have to be able to persevere, and the main thing you're gonna have to do is remain consistent while what? Keeping your mental health okay. So it's not going to be easy. You're going to end up in a 9-to-5 job. You're going to be competing with a lot of people. And get this, somebody is going to be telling you what to do for 4 years. It's true, you're going to have teachers. You can't say, I don't want to work, I don't want to do what you say, because you will fail. You have to do what they say. So you have to understand, going into school doesn't mean that you're going to immediately become successful. We all know that. There's an upfront cost. You're going to school in the US, you're probably spending thousands of dollars. You're going to school in Canada, you're spending thousands of dollars. Less, but still thousands of dollars. And if you're an international student, you're coming to North America for opportunities, I'd think twice about that. I'm not trying to get everyone to come to Halifax, although it may seem like that. I want you to make a good informed decision. So look around at different programs, look around at how versatile those degrees are that you're going to pick up, whether training in North America will be universal or whether you should go to Europe. Because Europe has a lot of good programs, and it depends where you can get visas to. But this video is strictly about whether you should go to university. I think if you're okay and you understand that you're going to have to spend an upfront cost, you may have to go into debt, and you're not going to always be in perfect mental health when you go to school, because I don't think anyone really is, unless they're super mentally stable, and most of us aren't. But I think that if you're okay with that, and you can persevere, and you want that light at the end of the tunnel, that stability, you don't want to have to innovate too much, and you have to in your field, but you don't want to have to be responsible for making your own career. You want somebody to hire you, and you want benefits, you want government benefits, you want a stable family life. It's a good idea for you. If you're a mover and shaker and you have these optimistic ideas about going to university, you think when you get to university you're going to be huge and everything's going to work out perfectly, and oh, you're going to be the biggest engineer in the world and you're going to make millions. If that's your idea, I would not choose university unless you have a way of paying for it, because I think the branding of university is still helpful. You may hate it more, especially if you think differently and you want to employ yourself, either you're entrepreneurial. You may not like it as much because you don't like listening to other people. You like to march to the beat of your own drum. That's very much like me in the journalism program. I don't even know if I'll become a news reporter. But there's still merit in it if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, you're going to be financially stressing yourself and trying to live up to it. So I think if you're going to go into debt, it's not a good idea if that's not what you want at the end. If you don't want a stable 9-to-5 job. Not a good idea, because you're putting yourself in debt. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, you should not put yourself in 40, 50 grand of debt. That's just my personal opinion. And you know what? Either way, I think we all hit stumps in our life. If you go to university, you think, oh God, I spent so much money and I don't have a job, because it happens to a lot of people. And if you don't go to school, you're going to say, oh no, I'm in a dead-end job because I didn't go to university. So what I'm going to recommend is you don't blame yourself. Never blame yourself. But the main factors you want to consider are, do I want a stable 9-to-5? Am I okay listening to somebody else for 4 years plus? If the answer is yes, and you just want a clear-cut path for the next 4 years, because you can still find yourself in university, choose that option. If you hate that idea, you don't want the 9-to-5 job, you don't want those things, you want to be an entrepreneur, you don't want to be in debt, you can't afford it, don't go to university. It's as simple as that. That's how I can narrow it down for you. My experiences are, I realized university wasn't for me, but I didn't want to drop it because I'd already came in. We made the financial sacrifice. And I wanted to stick it through. And I knew the branding would help me. I knew it forced me to stay in Halifax so I can make mistakes here and there as I get my degree. At the end, I would be guaranteed something concrete. So that's why I did it. But it's not for everybody. And I don't think you should really follow the marketing. You're not going to be poor if you don't go to university. That's a lie. You're just marketed that. It will be harder to find a high-paying job, 9-to-5, if you're looking for an employer and you want to send your resume in somewhere. Yes, you probably do need university if you don't want to be held back. But if you want to make money by yourself, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to start somewhere, you don't need to go to university. No one needs to be put in that amount of debt. That's my opinion. So that's the best way that I can narrow it down. But if you have any more questions, leave me a question in the comment section below and I'll definitely get back to you. Be sure to subscribe while I give you more advice about school and university life, moving to Canada, being an international student, and of course, coming to Halifax. My name's Nader, and thanks for tuning in.